Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. This is episode number 98, and of course I'm joined by my co-host Scobie1, aka Scott.
Welcome back, everybody.
And of course we got Lunatic Oblivion, aka Roger.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode here. It's going to be a rather short week here, but how you guys been?
Doing pretty good. Beat 2 games this week. How about you?
You know, pretty good. Got some interesting news here that I wanted to just share my excitement with. Is me and my dad were talking about it because obviously he used to collect baseball cards back in the day, right? And he gave me all of them, and then it popped up on his feed somewhere that one of the cards that he apparently had is worth anywhere potentially $350,000 to $500,000, and I have it. It is right here. This Derek Jeter holographic rookie card.
I'm pretty sure I threw out that exact same one when I was like 10.
Yeah, so I just have what I have to do is obviously get it graded, and if it's like a 9 or a 10, it's going to be worth a really nice payment, you know, if I can find somebody to buy it.
Get it out of that book and maybe put it
the
in
thing
the
is
safe.
it's never been out of that binder since 1993. Like, as soon as my dad opened the pack, it went right into it.
Man, I swear to God, if you go to take it out and like the front just peels off and stays on the binder,
it just like stumbles or
my
like
man's
crumbles.
got the holographic first edition Charizard of baseball cards right now.
Yeah,
And it's gonna stick directly to that binder.
I'd be so pissed.
Dude, that's awesome. That is, I feel like I'm not acting as excited as I should be because that is fucking huge.
Yeah, I was like, man, I pulled the one ring card.
Yeah, and it was actually a 9, not
Yeah.
like a here's your 9 because it's one of one.
Right. So hopefully
fucking awesome,
hopefully it's a
dude.
good grade and stuff like that. I'm gonna stop over to Card Stadium and get one of those like hard plastic things, the glass and stuff like that, and kind of go from there to get it graded, and we'll see how it goes.
Like a vacuum sealed safe,
Yeah.
something like that. Keep that shit just like cryogenically frozen,
Right.
to make sure it stays.
In pristine condition, yeah. So, and there's a couple other cards in that set that I do have that are worth a couple thousand as well. So I can hopefully get them all graded and kind of.
So what I'm hearing is drinks on Vic.
Yeah, drinks on Vic, house
Is
on
what
Vic.
I'm
You know,
hearing.
that's the plan.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
But
Man, I hope you can get what you want for it.
I know. It's a tough
I'm looking
market.
around. I'm like trying to figure out what the card is worth. Like even just looking at eBay, and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything close. So I'm wondering.
It depends
you
on
know,
the grade.
if I'm
If
buying
it
it
if
for
it
one.
if it's a
Yeah.
9 or a 10, it's worth that much. But if it's anything less,
If
it's
a
not.
10.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
not worth anything else after that.
You know what you got to do?
Hmm.
You got to take that shit to Pawn Stars.
Yeah,
You
you
take that
know,
shit to Pawn Stars and get on Pawn Stars for sure.
we'll give you like $10. That's the best I could do.
Best I can do is this double bubble.
Right, the double bubble gum. Yeah, for sure. But enough of that exciting news. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Because Roger, you have one hell of a list here, and Scott, you actually have a longer list than I do. And I don't even know where to begin here. So let's actually start off with the one that had me scratching my head. Is Scott? You picked up Pokemon Go again.
So,
what made you do this?
I wouldn't necessarily say picked up, right? So that's like one thing that has never been uninstalled from my phone.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine, and I were talking in Discord the one night. He's like, "Hey, you gonna be on?" Like me and my boy just went out and played some Pokemon Go. We're doing this, that, and the other. And it's just it's one of those games that it always kept me engaged, like in it, like when I'm out just doing whatever. Like for example, I ran to Lowe's like 6 fucking times this weekend. So you best believe I'm hatching eggs.
Hatching the fuck out of them.
Yeah, hatch the fuck out of them eggs. But no, it was just something nice to get back into, to like still like, even though if I'm out and I can't actually be here, just something to play, have fun with. I mean, still once again, remembering the hype from the first time it dropped and that first 151 came out, like I still have a picture of like one of my best buddies next to a Dragonite that we saw in AR, and he's like holding his thumbs up and shit. Like, it was a fun game. They've changed some things, but it's still fun. You still get to go do that research, the research tasks and all that good stuff. But yeah, I just decided to hop back on, and that was really it. It's nothing too major.
Yeah, for
It's not
sure.
an addiction. I can
Yeah.
quit anytime.
It's not an addiction. It
Yeah.
used to be an addiction, but I finally gave it up.
Well, all I'm saying is as of now, I wake up and all I think about is Pokemon Go. When I go out, I think about Pokemon Go, and I still haven't gotten addicted yet. So come on now.
No. So Roger, let's move on here to your list here. Sword and Fairy 7. This one here intrigues me the most because what is this game? What the fuck is this game?
It's a Game Pass game.
Of course it is.
It's actually a Microsoft game. It's made by Microsoft and their studio in China. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a go, see what it's all about. And honestly, it is by definition the middest game I've ever played. Like mid. It is dead set mid.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
It is pretty much that. I'm like playing through it. I'm like, man, the graphics are clunky. The gameplay is clunky, but like I don't want to put it down either, which is the weird thing. So I kind of just like, all right, I'll keep playing it. We'll see how it goes.
All right, that's interesting. Yeah, because I was going to wonder, like, if it's that mid, is it going to be the games you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it on the shelf and may not pick this game back up again. Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. But then I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm gonna play it anyway, probably, and I'm probably gonna beat it because it's like only 20 hours to beat, which yes, it can be a lot. I'm like,
Yeah, it definitely could be because one of my games I'm playing right now, actually the only game I'm playing right now for story wise is Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm about 14 hours into the game, and I'm just like, man, it's like it's a fun
doesn't
game.
stop.
Like
It is a
it's
long
never
game.
ending. It's definitely never ending, and like I'm not even going to lie, like I'm kind of enjoying the side mission and like some of this like. It got a little bit better for me. Like the variety of missions became a little bit more, and like it just adds a lot more lore to the story. Like if you enjoy the Hogwarts, the Harry
Yes.
Potter universe, there's a bunch of shit that you can dive into, or even like the dialogue options that you do have with characters. You can skip through and just move on with the quest, or you can sit there and ask questions with that person and get to know it. And I don't know why. I've really been enjoying it.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of wanted to ask you about. Like, were you a fan of Harry Potter before this?
Oh yeah,
Like, were
yeah,
you?
huge.
Yeah, so when you get those extra lore pieces, like we were talking last week, like it's very fetch questy,
Mm.
and like go do this, get your spell. Go do this, get your spell. Go
Yeah.
do this, get your spell. But once you
And the
start
funny
getting
thing that you say
past
that, right? This last time I was just playing, my fiance was sitting on the couch and I was going through and you had to go collect these letters for somebody from a cave, and you bring it back and you're just like, yeah, because I wouldn't have done it or something like that. And I'm like, well, no wonder why. Like you're lazy. And my girl was like, yeah, you fucking lazy bitch. You could have went and got the letters your damn self. Like you're just losing it. I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't even know why I went in this cave to collect letters that had no meaning, but I did it.
you
So-
did it anyway.
So to reopen an old wound, when we had first started talking about this game and we had first started talking about like things that could have been and then things that ended up actually were being but not, ended up getting scrapped, like you would think like, yeah, calling someone lazy, like here's your negative bad boy point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that. Do you still think that the morality system in that game
That would have been huge.
been
That would have been
Would've
huge.
been
the
Because-
one thing? Like,
bec-
it would have been it.
It would have made those kind of missions have meaning. Oh shit, I've been doing too many bad things. Let me go help this old lady out. Go collect her letters. And now I'm moving back towards neutral.
Or now that you know like the skill trees and what you can pick, like when you start dumping everything into dark arts.
Yeah.
Like,
And the crazy
you're-
thing is,
you're-
I'm 14 hours into the game yet, and I don't have not one bad curse.
That's weird.
I don't have any of them.
You gotta start hoofing towards that. You gotta work
Because
with your boy Sebastian.
apparently you can go through the whole game without even learning them.
You gotta do the Sebastian side quests.
Yeah, that's
Sebastian's
actually what
name.
I'm working on now. I
Sebastian's
just
name.
got to where you have to
Yeah.
wait for him at one of the towers, and I think that's where I'm about to get my first one. So
Yeah, because he teaches you all. That's the dark arts kind of like side quest thing.
yeah,
But like like it got robbed of the morality system.
yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think the game had a lot of potential, but it missed the mark so much. But it showed what we can do with Harry Potter still. Like it really honestly I think reinvigorated the whole franchise of Harry Potter for our generation again. Like
100%.
you had people who were like, yeah, Harry Potter was cool at the time. I was a fan of it at the time, but I don't really care anymore. it just literally put a
Threw
fire
us
under
back in
those
it.
people yet again.
And on top
Well,
of
and
that,
like,
like they're remaking the movies, but in the TV shows, so like
we're
that's
not going to talk
coming.
about that.
And then Hogwarts
Not
Legacy
doing
is
that.
getting its own TV show apparently too. So like, there's gonna be a lot of
That
Harry Potter universe kind of stuff in the works.
the Legacy TV show I can 100% get behind. Nobody asked you to redo the movies.
Yeah,
I understand. I actually had this conversation just the other night. It's like I understand it would be great if you could have done book one as season one, so on and so forth. Would have been great because there's so much stuff that you can actually put in there, and get just all of the lore, all of the world building. Like, but nobody asked you to redo the movies. Like, don't do that. If you're gonna do anything, make a show based off of Legacy. Legacy has a great storyline. The
yeah,
main storyline is actually really fucking awesome.
yeah. I'm definitely
And
enjoying
like,
this story.
as you've seen in the intro, like, people fucking die in Legacy.
Yeah.
People die at the fair. Is
Mhm.
basically with Legacy. Like, you could have done so many other things. But anyway, I will go ahead and step off of that soapbox
Yeah,
so
so
we can move on.
yeah, Hogwarts Legacy definitely a lot of fun. So next up here, Scott, you actually beat two fucking games this week. I'm surprised. And they're two big games: Diablo 4 and Tears of the Kingdom. Did you even go to work this week?
I did. I did. It's hilarious because I'm like, well, I had set myself up so nicely for Tears of the Kingdom because the last time that I was playing it, I was already getting ready to beat it. And so finally, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Hook it up, get it done, so I can be done with that, and then I can go, basically, go back and do the other shit that I want to do later. And actually, just Friday, yesterday slash this morning, I finally beat the storyline for Diablo 4.
We're literally sitting in chat, and he goes, "All right, boys, just did it."
I did. I did. I was like, all right, done. Diablo 4 is done. Like, we're good. Well, so in the chat earlier, that was actually the capstone dungeon that you can do afterwards to unlock World Tier 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. That was a great storyline. It's one of those ones that really has you not feeling for the villain, but like understanding. And understanding that like any of us really at any given time is like a bad lab accident away from being a villain, because you know like what Lilith says a lot of times it makes sense, but it was great. The storyline was great towards the end. It definitely left it open for expansions,
Which they've already announced.
Yeah.
which they've already announced. With staying as far away from spoilers as I can for anybody who hasn't beaten it. But yeah, honestly, it was great. That end game push was just adrenaline. It's amazing. Had one of the greatest cutscenes I've seen in a Diablo series. Period. In all of it, that was a really really good one. And if anybody's gotten close to the end, not either of you two, because you guys still refuse to play the game for some reason.
I just don't want to buy a $70 game right now.
Yeah, definitely agree.
But yeah, dude, it was super fun and loved that. And Tears of the Kingdom, that was so satisfying to be done, to finish it, go through, and that was just that was a satisfying ending, man. It hit all the spots.
That's important.
Like,
Yeah, that's good to hear for sure. So, not only did you beat two games this week, Roger, you also beat two games this week. I mean, one of them,
Yes.
it's not even called beaten. There's a synonym for beaten. It's called Roger, apparently. But Need for Speed Unbound and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Tell me about Unbound, and then I'll ask some questions for Shredder's Revenge.
What do you want to know about Unbound? I told you last week, man, it was like it hit right for a Need for Speed game. Like, I've missed them. It's been so long since I've gotten to play one. And I was like, it just felt good to play. It actually felt genuinely fun. But at the same time, I was just like, there was a lot lacking, it felt like.
Yeah. So, on your scale, what did you end up giving Unbound?
I pretty much, I think, let's see here.
Or did you
I
probably
think it was
didn't do it
somewhere
yet?
in the 70.
Okay. So probably just like a good
Yeah.
game, nothing too
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, Need for Speed Unbound. I gave it a 70. Like right here, sitting here, I was like, is it probably a 70?
Yeah.
It's exactly what I gave
You
it.
couldn't have found like one
69.
more wrong thing and given us a 69.
Exactly, Marshmallow.
Oh shit, Marshmallow. Yes, exactly, Marshmallow. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like,
69.9.
I literally don't have even Road 96. I'm like, oh, I could have done 69 points for that score. I gave it a 65. I was like,
You know, but
miss
okay.
out on the memes.
So 69.420. That's great. So for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, did you play this co-op with anybody, or did you play through
Yeah.
that solo?
Disney came down and she was like, I want to play a game right now. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, what do you want to play? She's like, I don't know. I just want to play out. I want to play a game and hang out with you. And I was like, okay, what do you want to do? Let's play a co-op game. And I was like, all right, why don't we just play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I haven't played that since I've been in the arcade at Chuck E. fucking Cheese.
Yes,
dude.
when we spent
Let's
all
go
of our
play
tokens.
that. Let's go play fucking. Let's play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And she was like, all right. And within 5 minutes, she's like, dude, this is so much fun. And I was like, I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
This is why we wrote all them years ago. See, you're
Yeah.
you're feeling what we feel. So yeah, that's great.
This is where I fed all of my tokens to at Chuck E. Cheese's.
All right, you ready to cash in your tickets to win prizes?
What tickets?
Yeah, about
What
that.
fucking tickets?
We didn't get any.
Y'all are getting tickets?
Fucking tickets?
There's tickets in this arcade. Yeah, so yeah, that's great to hear. I eventually want to check it out. It's on Game Pass still, which is awesome. So that makes that easy entry there. But Roger, me and you picked up Valorant. Scott, you tried to hop in last week to play Valorant, but you couldn't. Obviously, hopefully, Puppy is doing much better now.
He is doing much better. He finally stopped bleeding. I never
Profusely.
worried. I never worried before until like that night because I was like, man, my 100-pound German Shepherd is somehow gonna bleed out through his back paw nail.
It didn't have a self revive.
Like, he did not. He didn't have
Damn.
a self revive. He doesn't. There's many things he learns from me, but not that,
Damn.
unfortunately.
But that's awesome to hear. So, but yeah, Valorant, man. Was fun that week, and it was fun yesterday when we played. But yeah, that first night back of me playing Valorant, wasn't streaming, wasn't recording, and of course, I go 5 straight games of match MVP, and on top of that, I got 2 aces, and I'm just like, fuck me. The time that I'm not recording, me playing Valorant,
Yep.
I'm going to get aces, and that's
Well, you know what? Now I'm not sure I believe you.
yeah,
We
exactly.
don't have no evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I can go show you the
Sure, it didn't
scorecard.
happen.
It's in the scorecard, the career history.
Yeah, sure
But
it is.
but yeah, the last two nights or last 2 times that we played, I recorded and streamed everything. I still did really well. Just no aces, and I'm just like, that's cool. I see how this works. But overall, it's been an enjoyable experience being back. What's your thoughts, Roger?
Honestly, I think the game, I needed a break. Just like I think, Marshmallow and me were talking about Overwatch. Like, you just need a break sometimes from these shooters. Take a week off because playing every week, it can be real tiresome after a while. And I took the break off from Valorant for a season or for like 2 or 3 seasons. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, it feels good to go back now. It felt good. Game was enjoyable. Nothing wrong with it anymore.
Right. So yeah, it's hopefully we can continue to play it here and there. Obviously, I know we got a busy gaming schedule, especially if we're trying to prepare for October because October has a lot of upcoming releases.
Yep.
But outside of that, obviously we all been playing some Warzone. We got a Warzone tournament coming up here on July 17th, so we got to continue to get some practice in on that because there's gonna be some shooters. There's gonna be some shooters in that tournament. So hopefully
Yeah,
we
3
come
of us.
prepared. Yeah, hopefully we're not just bullet sponges.
We're the shooters.
But
Don't worry, I'm the resident bullet sponge. We'll be okay.
yeah.
Indeed,
As
you
long
guys don't
as
mistake.
long as you're our meat shield, we're good. That's all we need.
As
Bullet-
long as we
bullet
get the kills
sponge.
afterward.
Right? Yes.
Bullets and light posts. I
Yeah.
got it. I take them all.
Take it all. So I just want to talk about one more game here for you, Roger. Is Final Fantasy 16? Is it still playing really well, or is it sticking to our news headline that we'll cover a little bit later?
The game doesn't feel like the best Final Fantasy I've ever played by any means, and like it suffers the Final Fantasy X syndrome that so many do. Like Final Fantasy X was kind of the pinnacle for Final Fantasy gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people look at that as like the game, and I think this one also suffers a lot of the same issues because the one that came before it did a really good job. It had the same style of combat here, that sort of you go around, you do the combat that it's in real time. It's no longer turn-based, things like that. It
Mhm.
felt good. but I think this one struggles from sort of a it struggles from kind of a lack of um greater world building. I think at times the story is really immersive, it's good, it feels fun to play through, but there are a lot of glaring issues, I think, with the story.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so what I heard a lot of people talk about is like the person who took over for the like combat and stuff like that for this game was one of the lead directors from Devil May Cry, so he tried to implement like Devil May Cry's combat into Final Fantasy, and people aren't really a fan of it, and that's really been one of its weaknesses, has been that change to that kind of
Hmm.
combat. It's not, doesn't feel Final Fantasy anymore. It feels like Devil May Cry just set in the Final Fantasy world.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, well, that would be doo doo for sure. Like
yeah,
you play Final Fantasy for the combat, like that's a huge part of it. You change that, you
it completely changed the whole formula.
It's
Yeah.
a whole
yeah
different game.
yeah, it's an entirely different game almost.
Right, which we're seeing the repercussions of this, which we'll cover here in a little bit. But let's move on to the upcoming game releases, because it's not a huge week, but there are two big games that are coming out this week that I at least am excited for. But let's check it out. So go ahead, Roger, if you want to kick us off here with our five game releases this week.
Yeah, we actually missed quite a few last week that hit Game Pass as releases, but with the article you're using, we've got five this week. This week we've got Lost in Play being the first one. This is an iOS Android game that's coming to iOS and Android on July 12th. Then we have Mordhau. Mordhau is a game for PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One. This comes out on the 12th of July. Now, Mordhau, I believe, yes, it's already been on PC for 4 years now. It's been on the PC since April 29th, 2019. So we're looking at a 4 year time skip now to getting it on console. And is it going to do good after 4 years of being out? We'll see. But after that, we have Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals. This is a PS5, PS4, Switch, PC, Mac, iOS, and Android game coming July 12th. And then afterwards, we've got Gravity Circuit. Gravity Circuit comes for PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC on the 13th. And lastly, the kind of capstone for this week is Exoprimal. Exoprimal is releasing on the 14th, and that is coming out for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. I believe, is that Game Pass Day 1?
Game Pass Day 1, yes sir.
Game Pass Day
Yeah.
1.
So yeah, Exo Primal is one of the big games that are coming out this week that I'm actually excited for. One, it does come to Game Pass, but this one seems pretty cool. Just just the kind of like combat that's kind of going on. You're fighting these big ass dinosaurs. Like I just hope that this game does really well from Capcom, just because they're riding the high right now, and just like we've had other games like this where you're fighting the dinosaurs, like that second Extinction game that me and you hopped in the one time, and we were just like, we're never again. Like we're not gonna play this. But this seems really cool. It seems like a combination of like that plus like Anthem, because there's like a ton of
Hmm.
different exosuits that you can hop between, and like being able to switch to different ones on the fly like mid combat. It seems really fucking dope to me, and I'm just really excited to check this out. And I think it says it's 1 to 10 players, so we'll be able to hop in, play some co-op games, and check out the gameplay loop, and maybe have some fun here with that. So really looking forward
Yeah.
to Exo Prime. It looks really good. Um, Outside of that, the other game that I'm excited for is Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, but the only like negative part here is that it's not coming to Xbox, which is really confusing. The first game was on Xbox. That's actually where I played it. Played the first one and beat it. It was a really story-driven game. This game is owned by Netflix now, and I'm just really curious why Netflix was like, we're gonna put it on everything but Xbox. Like, I just want to know what happened here. Did Xbox fumble the bag, or does Netflix like have like some kind of vendetta against Xbox? I really don't know why, unless it's going to come down the road. Like maybe it's a timed exclusive on every platform except Xbox. I don't know. But
I
Roger,
wish I
Timed
could breathe harder.
inexclusive.
yeah,
I wish I could breathe harder into my mic that Netflix owns this.
yeah, it sucks because they bought that studio out, which I was just like, when that came through, I was like, fuck, they bought Night School Studios. Like they were such a dope indie developer, and they got gobbled up by somebody who's probably gonna run them into the ground. And I'm just like, fuck, man. But I really hope Oxenfree 2 does really well. I think it's going to be an underrated game that's going to probably get overlooked, I think, this summer, just because of the nature of that. But hopefully you guys can enjoy it, whether you play it on PC or Roger, you can check it out on your PS5. If you haven't played the first one, definitely give that a go. It's a
Yeah.
pretty quick game too. I think Jordan might like it too. Really good game. But outside of that, Roger, what are you excited for on this list here?
Honestly, Exoprimal seems pretty cool, and for it to be a Game Pass day one is kind of awesome. It's just another game we're getting for free right off the bat.
Right, a AAA game from Capcom,
Yeah.
who's been hitting on all cylinders. Like, it seems like win-win, but this could be their bust of the year. But we never know.
I hope it isn't, because we've had so many big fumbles lately with these AAA games. Like when you slap AAA onto something,
Yeah.
you've got about a 30% success rate, if that. That's what
Yeah.
it feels like lately.
And that's being generous.
Yeah.
It's being really generous.
What about you, Scott? Which game on the list here are you most excited for?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to give it to Mordhau.
Okay.
That medieval melee combat style game, like it's fun. It looks fun. Like when Dark and Darker was out and I was playing a melee character, like it was just so fun. And Mordhau looks to be kind of that. Like there's different game types where it's like, two teams of 32 people like playing, like taking points, doing all that good stuff. And so out of this list, I'm gonna have to give it to Mordhau because it just looks fun. It just looks really, really fun, and it's been received really well so far from people that have reviewed it. So when you start getting into that first
it's
or
not
third
a new
person
game.
melee, yeah,
It's been out for 4
like,
years, so
yeah.
they've had time
like
to polish
yeah,
it.
exactly. And like to come out and be able to do that, like
I just wonder if it's going to be on
You
the
have to-
scale
you
of
have to
like
love it.
Chivalry 2, because that's basically the same game, more or less. And that game did really well when it came out. I know a lot of friends that played it and enjoyed it. Is this
Yeah,
is this
and
not similar to
It
it?
dies.
Okay, did it? Okay, yeah. That's why I was
Yeah,
curious.
like
Like, how well is
Chivalry
this going to
2.
do?
Yeah, like it's got a dedicated community, but really nobody talks about Chivalry 2 anymore.
All right, when it first got dropped, everyone's like, "Oh, this is like Call of Duty, but like during the medieval
Mm-hmm.
times with all melee weapons." I was like, "Okay, cool. I might give it a try," but I never did. But I don't know. Not
well,
my
the medieval melee has definitely taken like a huge leap in the past couple of years
yeah.
Mhm.
from that, and like Mordhau coming over to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Like if I can get that over here, I mean, via Game Pass or just download it, and like I completely forgotten about this game.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for that. Like 100%. Like I might just hop into Mordhau because you know why? Because I beat 2 games this week. That's
He got all the
3
time on
games
his
more
hands
than-
now.
That's 3 games more than I usually beat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah, not a crazy week, but some good games coming out that all of us can definitely give it a go. But enough of the upcoming game releases. Let's move into our industry news because we have a bunch to cover this week. So, just going to kick it off here with our industry news with the update to the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. No, we did not get the answer from the FTC yet. I think we might get it this week. I'm almost thinking we're going to get it tomorrow, which would be Monday the 10th. But if you're listening to this replay, you'll probably already know the answer to the court case by then. But South Africa has been the most recent country to approve this acquisition, so it just adds to the long list of approvals here, which that's good news in sense of the deal. But we definitely got to see how the FTC handles this. But outside of that, no more industry
That's
news,
the
guys.
industry news.
That's it. That was really quick. Highlighting.
that's like the second week in a row that we've just gotten through a long ass list.
I know.
I think last week it was game releases. Now it's industry news. we're getting really good at this.
Yeah,
It's
like
the summer,
we
my
did.
man.
we
Everyone's
take
on
all-
break.
We take all this and we just push it through. It's so easy.
Easy
We
enough.
make it look easy.
Right. So let's move on to the meat of our podcast here with the gaming news. Alright, so obviously we got to kick it off here with the Xbox news. This one could have been tied into the industry news here because this came out, I guess, via a court document that was discovered later on. But Microsoft believes Sony will be releasing a PS5 Slim this year, priced around $399. So I was just like, okay, but is it needed? Like, I don't see the need or the purpose of this. And if this is like that PS5 that has like the detachable disc drive, like,
It is.
I'm just really confused at what PlayStation
I
is trying to
think
accomplish.
I think the idea here is a lot of people are just sort of tired of the big PS5 console. Like I'm looking at mine right now, and
it's it's a
it's
monolithic tower.
fucking huge, dude. Like eh,
Shit looking like Seto Kaiba.
I've seen sport SUVs that are smaller than this thing. Like let's be honest.
Yeah, I really enjoy my Series X. Like it sits on my entertainment center, and it just like it blends in and just like it's there,
Mhm.
but you don't know it's there. But if I put the PlayStation 5 on the shelf, you're like, what the fuck is that? Like a
And
Wi-Fi router or something do I
it's
have under
got no
there?
face covers. They've got no fancy face covers to make it look better.
No, you
So
got the
like,
different color ones you can get from Sony's. Since they closed
oh,
down
they're not right.
that custom
They're
one.
fake. They're
Sick
fake.
modem,
That's
bro.
fake news, bro.
Yeah,
Sick
fake
modem.
news. Yeah, it could be the Xbox
fake
mini fridge. Yeah, you never know. It could be the Xbox. It could be the mini fridge. You just don't know what it is just sitting there. But yeah. So that was just the news in regards to that. But Xbox services wise, Game Pass additions. Um, Grand Theft Auto 5 has returned to Game Pass. It's available now for cloud and console. I think it's Sword and Fairy Together Forever. Which is this the game that you're playing, or is this like a different
Yes.
one? Okay, gotcha.
That,
So
that is it. It's the official title is Together Forever, but the actual game title in the franchise is Sword
Seven.
Fairy 7.
Okay, and this one's available on all like variations of playing it. Then you got McPixel 3, Cloud Console and PC became available on July 6th, but upcoming on the 11th, you got Commonhood coming to Cloud Console and PC, Insurgency Sandstorm coming to PC on the 11th, and then you got Exo Primo, which we were just talking about, coming to Cloud Console and
Hmm.
PC on the 14th. Then you got Tectonica, which is it's in game preview, also coming to Cloud Console and PC on the 18th, and then The Cave, which is coming to Cloud and Console on the 18th. I know that a lot of people really enjoyed like the Cave, if I'm not mistaken. Like this is a cult classic from 2015, 16. I could be wrong. Let me see. I'm trying to look it up there. This one came out in 2013, so yeah, it's definitely been a while. It's like a puzzle platformer adventure game. It was developed by Double Fine, which is a really well known um, game developer there. So I'm probably looking forward to checking out The Cave. But definitely, obviously, we already talked about Exo Primal. That's pretty awesome. But Grand Theft Auto 5, I think that's a big move to move it back into Game Pass, just to recapture maybe some more player base.
It's almost like
Build
you want
hype.
to ask.
Yeah,
It's
build
almost like
hype.
you want to ask why.
You know, I didn't put it on here, but there's apparently like a leak going around that they're remastering GTA 4 and Red Dead and bundling them together, and that's going to hold you over until GTA 6 drops. And I was just like, man, that would probably be nuts. Low key, just low key.
I mean,
But
yeah, it'd be great, but like, damn, like if they're just doing this to buy time, like just do Grand Theft Auto 6 already. Fuck.
right, yeah,
They'd be like, oh,
Well,
we're
they need money
remastering
to keep
Morrowind.
going.
We're gonna remaster Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind. It's all gonna come in a bundle, and that'll hold you over for another 13 years.
I wouldn't be
Yes.
surprised. Don't run it past them because they might take you up on that idea. But Game Pass departures on July 15th is the game XO1, which is that game that I picked up like a few weeks back, where you just fly this like random saucer through different worlds, and it was real clunky and it crashes, and it's just like a. I'm glad it's leaving Game Pass because don't check it out.
I mean, me and Marshmallow were talking about Game Pass games today, like on stream, and we're like, go figure, Game Pass game doesn't always work correctly for some
Right.
reason.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sad one here. Paw Patrol, the movie Adventure City Calls. It's leaving, so yeah, exactly, guys. So if you haven't played this, go check it out as soon as possible before it goes. If not, buy it for 20% off there. And then Spelunky 2, Cloud Console and PC, also leaving on the 15th. Roger, was this a game you checked out? I can't remember if you played Spelunky 2.
Spelunky 2, no, I
No?
don't remember that
Okay.
game. No.
No, okay.
I know what Spelunky 2 is. Spelunky 2 is it's a reimagining of one of the like PC cult classic games, where
It's
you
like
kind
Terraria?
of dig down. Not in the same aspect. No, it's more of a puzzle platformer as opposed to Terraria, which is about more or less getting through bosses and different gameplay and stuff like that.
Hey, Inhuman, we definitely miss you, bro. We have to get you back on the show here soon.
Oh my
Um,
man, human.
And your kids play. Then yeah, man, you got to make sure you buy it now. You get 20% off with Game Pass before it leaves Game Pass.
Gotta hurry up and get that.
So, but yeah, in regards to Xbox though, there was an update for one of their games, Scorn, which eventually come to PlayStation lately. Officially passed 2 million players on the Xbox, cause it's supposed to be coming to the PS5 very soon, but to pass 2 million with this really small game that didn't have too much hype, it was kind of like, what the fuck is this kind of game? 2 million players, I think that's a pretty success story there for that game. I played about half of it, halfway through it, because it's a pretty quick game. Roger, I think you beat it in like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours through it. So I might give it a go. It's a lot like that like if you're not ready, if you have a faint heart or whatever, don't play it. It's out there.
It's pretty gruesome.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Scorn marketing definitely made it seem like it was going to be something way different, like this first-person shooter, but it's really not. It's all about puzzle solving set into this like really gruesome
It's
fucking world.
it's puzzle solving with zero hand holding.
Yeah, at all. That shit was frustrating, trying to figure out what to
As
do
it
next
should
and
be.
where to go.
Did you end up beating it?
No, I have not. I'm halfway done with it.
What?
I,
Dude,
I
it's
played it
so
one time.
short.
I played it one time for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I was just like, that's it.
Now
I
you
like,
have to replay the whole game.
nope, not doing it. Nope, not at all. But yeah, man, that's all of
Honestly, the
Oh, yeah.
gunk was better than that, and the gunk felt like
Oh, I love the
it
gunk.
had the same aesthetics, and I was like, that's the game that was good.
Yeah, the gunk
This
was
one,
really
eh.
good. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, that's everything in regards to Xbox. Roger, I want you to talk a little bit about the game that everyone's been playing lately, including what is it, Bass? Just downloaded it and has been playing it a lot.
Yeah. So, BattleBit. BattleBit Remastered is a game that came out a few weeks ago on Steam. And it honestly has taken the internet by storm lately. People are super excited about this game because it just honestly, it does Battlefield better than Battlefield does, and it was made by like less than 5 people, I think. Like,
Well, I
it's
mean,
pretty insane.
anything over three, you're gonna get better than Battlefield.
Yeah. So like it actually was crazy how few people are working on this and how well it turns out. Like it is such a good game and people are really mad about it, honestly. I don't know why, but people are super salty at BattleBit. So it got DDoS this week and they fought them off, won, and kept the game going in lobbies that are 127 versus 127 people. The game was like, yeah, we're under DDoS, who cares?
In like in
Whatever.
the biggest show of like, yeah, we can handle that. Go
Yeah.
ahead and play your fucking game. Like,
Exactly.
Just
It was
standing in
so
front,
silly.
shielding from the DDoS, and still letting people play a game. Ridiculous. Why people are so salty, I don't know. Envy
Maybe
is
it was
an ugly
Battlefield,
color.
you know?
Envy is an ugly color. Or as a friend said to me, jealousy is a disease. Feel better, babe. Like, I, I don't know what you want from that. It's, oh man.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the year of DDoSes. I mean, like I feel like we've been covering DDoS stories this entire year.
Yep.
It's sad to see.
Everyone's salty, it feels like.
Yeah. Moving on here to Roger, I wanted you to cover this one specifically because you actually thoroughly enjoyed this game, where me, I still have mixed thoughts about it.
Atomic Hearts has it will be August 2nd, 2023 when they debut the DLC to come. So we have DLC coming for Atomic Hearts and we'll actually get to see it next month. Like what is in store for us? What should we expect to see coming up here soon? Which is really exciting because this game did really well in my opinion. Atomic Hearts was one of those games that honestly it did pretty well. And I don't know why a lot of people were so against it, but what's really cool is we do have an idea what's in the DLC. We're going to be annihilating vicious, shape-shifting new enemies with the help of new weapons and a new technostasis ability in a thrilling new area. So we're going to kind of delve deeper into that whole genetic experimentation. Spoiler alert, there were essentially the flood
Whoops.
from Halo, or just sort of like
Yeah.
basic zombie premise. People's heads were being ripped off by these plant creatures that were then piloting their bodies like puppets. And we're going to be delving more into that sort of thought Now, what I'm hoping is we get to continue the story from where it left off, because the game itself, the ending, spoiler alert,
Mhm.
is actually it left open for a sequel. There is no like choices or anything. The ending is the ending, and it will lead into a new game or something else, hopefully, if they could continue the series.
Right. Well, because on August 2nd it debuts the Atomic Pass, which is going to consist
Hmm.
of a series of DLC. So
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. That's an interesting concept. Like maybe you just buy like the season pass, but then you get like X amount of DLCs. But like, how big are these DLCs? Like that's going to be the big
Well,
question.
so many people have done DLC passes, so this
Right.
isn't the first time this has
No.
happened either.
Right. I just hopefully they do it correctly and you don't waste your money on it.
Yeah, and honestly, I hope Game Pass gets it. Like,
That'd be dope.
Game Pass usually doesn't get things that are in passes or things like that typically, so it's not always something that we'll see. But hopefully, we get something out of it. Like, we get maybe, oh, like, for example, Game Pass gets the Space Dwarf gets their DLC late, but hopefully, we get to see the DLC on time or within a few months.
Right. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I agree. Inhuman Atomic looked gorgeous. That was one of the reasons that captivated me. Was I want to play this game because how good it looks. It's just some of the other stuff that I had issues with, but we've covered that before. But moving on here to our next topic here. This one came out of left field. What's going on with the Naraka Blade Point here?
Yeah, so Naraka Blade Point is going to go free to play on July 13th.
Fuck it.
On July 13th, it's also coming to the PS5. So good news coming out of there. If anybody's not familiar with Naraka Blade Point, it is a melee battle royale. And what people are saying about it, what they actually have an entire team devoted to the free to play aspect of it. When it comes out, they said all in-game content is available to free players, including all game modes, events, cosmetics, character customizations, and beyond.
That's
You
pretty
will.
fire.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? Like
Yeah.
you'll need to unlock cosmetics and all. But four starter heroes
many
with
games
hero
do it.
coins, like yeah, like free players can earn a maximum of 35 hero coins per week through play, with a single character costing 100 coins. Obviously, like that's not that terrible. Like you want to make it free to play, but like you also want to make it sustainable to make sure that you're getting your money if somebody wants a new hero before they've played for 3 weeks. Existing players who bought or buy the game prior to the Switch will receive an in-game currency as a reward. So it's nice there to take care of the people that have actually already bought this game and have been playing. There was also a new character, a new weapon, and a handful of other events announced during the Naraka Fest stream that they had. So what Naraka Blade Point is basically so it pits up to 60 players against one another while a contracting ring of death gradually shrinks. We all know how those work. But otherwise, it doesn't feel much like other battle royales. It's more melee, like you got to get up close, personal, all that. Sniping, nothing like that. But yeah, it's definitely nice to see that come free to play. This I wanted to mention this during what game I was excited for this week, because Blade Point is definitely going to be one of them. But I just didn't want to give away the entire, you know, back half of the episode just to say what I was excited to play this week.
Right.
But moving on from
Just real
that,
quick, I just want to make quick
Go ahead.
points on Naraka Blade Point. It was part of Game Pass too, day one,
Yep.
back when it originally dropped, and I know a lot of people flocked to this because it was a different take on the whole battle royale, where it was at its peak of, man, you play battle royale, like which battle royale do you play? I'm checking out Naraka Blade Point because it's different. That whole melee concept was completely different,
Yep.
and it was so big too that obviously everyone knows like my Glitch Energy partnership with Shoot to Win and stuff like that. They actually partnered up with Naraka Blade Point to come out with a powder for it was called Blade Point, and it's sold out right now. I just checked the website, but it was apparently a really good flavor, as well. Free plug there, shameless plug, but yeah, shout out to
Free
Naraka.
and shameless.
Yeah, so yeah, but it was definitely great there for Naraka Blade Point. But yeah, Scott, if you want to go ahead and move on to our next two topics here.
But yeah, I'm hoping that by the next episode, all three of us have Naraka Blade Point in there, because free to play, free is for me, baby.
And it looks
But
good. Like
It
it's
does.
something I've wanted to
It
try.
really does. It looks great. it looks absolutely fantastic. Like looking at the in-game like actual like cinematics and like the actual playing, it looks fucking
Mhm.
awesome. Honestly, so I can't wait for that shit to be free 99.
Free 99, baby.
Yes, sir. Moving on from that, we've got Street Fighter 6 with its first DLC character, Rashid, affectionately referred to as the Agile Arab, which I was really, really just like trying so hard
That's what they
not to
call
say
him.
That's what
that.
they
That's what they
described
called
it.
him. And then I found an article that actually called him the Middle Eastern Master of the Cyclone. So we'll go with that.
Yeah, that sounds a
Because
lot
we
better.
like not getting canceled. We like staying here. We like being able to do this for you every week. And I feel if I said that one more time, we wouldn't be able to do that. So on July 24th, he will be here via the premium year one character pass. So that's going to be a super fun thing. I mean, DLC for the first Street Fighter. What else are we going to see after this? Like, I love what Street Fighter is doing right now. I was trying to find words to really say it, but it's like I love what Street Fighter is doing. They're kind of taking, I don't want to say the Mortal Kombat route, but they're putting the game out. They're giving you your DLC. They're gonna keep adding characters so that the people that want to play this game can keep playing this game with new, fresh people. And Rashid is just the first of what I would assume is gonna be many.
Middle East Beast.
The
The
Middle
Middle East
East
Beast.
Beast. Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
The Beast from the Middle East. There we go.
The beast from the Middle East.
But moving on from that, Diablo is getting its first new class. And I'm going to keep hyping this up until I eventually just shove a knife in there and twist this. So, Diablo is getting its first new class. This is going to be the Blood Knight. Diablo was saying this is going to be a mix of your sorcerer, barbarian, rogue, crusader. Is going to have the best of
everything.
all of them. It's basically, and when you look at it, you know, it's the Blood Knight is based off of Diablo's version of vampires. So basically, Blood Knights are humans who have been bitten by vampires, but through means of an ancient ritual, halted the curse of thraldom. So they're going to use pole arms as their melee, as well as be able to transform into what is called an abomination as a secondary form. But here it comes, kids, because this is only gonna be on Diablo Immortal. Womp womp. Where's my sad horns on that? Because damn.
Yeah, I
It
was.
is. It does feel that way.
I was like, I was like, oh, Diablo 4 is getting a new like class already. Like that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Nope,
Yeah,
it's
so-
coming. Diablo
this is-
Immortals.
and this is the first new class since the Crusader
Oh.
in 2014. So it'll be out on July 13th, but only on Immortals.
Right, and like I
Um,
beg the question, like,
yeah.
is this ever going to come Diablo 4, or is it just kind of like a, let's test the character out in Immortals, and then alright, cool, once we flesh him out, we're gonna port him
I'm
over
gonna
to
say
Diablo 4.
I'm gonna say no because they dumped way too much money into Diablo Immortal, and they don't want people not on Diablo Immortal. So they're only gonna make probably this available on Diablo
They don't want to make
Immortal.
the same mistake Apex
and
Legends
then-
did,
Yes.
because Apex
and
Legends
then-
did the same thing with their mobile game. They're like, oh, they're gonna have this exclusive guy, and they were like, but we want it on the console. And then like Apex Mobile just like crashed, and then they end up closing the whole program. You can't even play it on mobile
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
So
they're giving us the good shit only on Immortal to try to get people to play Immortal because you know, don't you all have cell phones? Like,
Don't you
damn.
guys have cell phones?
Don't you guys have cell phones? Nobody has one? Like, yeah, we have
Fucking
that, but
guy,
we don't want to
dude.
fucking play Diablo.
I don't need another proper pooper, guys. Come on, there's too many of them.
I don't need to spend money to play a game anymore.
Yeah,
like,
I
okay,
don't feel like
bought the
spending-
game. Fuck you, right?
I don't feel like spending $7,000 just to get my Blood Knight chess piece. Fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah, so that was some interesting news here. So, moving on here to our next one. We got two more here. So, got NBA 2K24. They had some two big announcements this week. First off is who is on the cover other than Kobe Bryant will be on the cover of the Standard Edition and the Black Mamba Edition. Basically, I mean, RIP to a legend here, but his number was 24. It's NBA 2K24. Makes sense, but 2K is getting lazy. when it comes to their design, and I didn't notice it, but I was just like, all of their covers the past couple years have been kind of looking the same. But then
Same.
JD actually pointed out like they really don't care about their design. He zoomed in on Kobe Bryant's head in the top right. You can tell it was like clipped out of another photo because you can see someone giving like the two fingers, like pointed out the top of his head, and I was just like, yo, like they didn't think to like look over this before posting this. Like that's bad. But one good highlight
And it's
here,
gonna
though.
be on did already existing
Yeah,
pieces for the game, dude.
I was like, yo, like there's no way that they
Fire.
fucked this up. But
No, there is. There definitely is.
just
They just did it.
right. Well, so, I mean, I have like every 2K behind me. I think I have Kobe Bryant on one of them, so I don't really need this one. What I really want if I'm going to pick up 2K24 this year is I need that Sabrina Ionesco cover. She's the one of the best players in the WNBA, and her cover looks fire. And I was just like, yo, I might need to grab hers. But the highlight here that is 2K is going crossplay for the first time ever, and that's just huge. I mean, it's just another game that finally has a feature that should be just standardized across the gaming industry. But here we are, crossplay.
Years later.
Yeah, it's surprise. And they were making a big announcement because like their trailer, it was like some dude on a bike or like riding around like NBA 2K has crossplay. Hey, it got crossplay, and I'm like, well, yeah, like.
Like you should have
Yeah.
crossplay. Why haven't you had it till now?
It's like one of those like you don't have crossplay, like
Yeah.
okay.
Congratulations on
We're
joining
an
the rest of the
industry
world.
embarrassment.
Yeah, we just want to announce it to the world. We have crossplay, guys. So, I mean, nonetheless, that's good to see, for sure. But Roger, if you want to round out our gaming news, because why not talk about Final Fantasy 16 one more time?
Sure. Yeah, so Final Fantasy 16 actually missed sales quotas by a long shot. So they're actually really upset about this, and stock prices are plummeting.
Yeah, it just like really goes to show like I think the game was overhyped by like media outlets. And then it led to everyone like, oh, this is going to be one of the game of the years, and they play
This
it
is
and they're
gonna
like,
be the game.
yeah, and we're like, I think it missed the mark. Like
Yep.
it's not what everyone's making it seem to be. So sad to see, but maybe they'll learn, but maybe not.
I just feel like like you really gotta fuck up if you undersell a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more
You
worried
really,
about
really
7.
have to.
They're more worried about reselling 7 in every way
And
possible.
and
Then
and
they
Which
are
I get.
reselling. That's
which
the thing.
which I
7
totally
isn't a
get.
resale.
It's a remake. I get that. I
Yeah.
totally 100% understand that because that is still the absolute best Final Fantasy game that has
But it's
been
not even just the remake. It's all of the like side games and
Yep.
games that go along with it. Like they're so on board with Final
Don't
Fantasy
even care.
7.
You could sell me Final
Then-
Fantasy 7 14. I do not care. I will buy it.
I hear you.
Was that
Nah.
fucking good?
And that's great.
But it's
Then
like, it's
then
almost
don't ruin
like, I
it.
know we were talking earlier about the entire change in combat system with going the more like Devil May Cry combat type. Do you think maybe like word about that has made it so people don't want to play it, or like people like kind of like word of mouth?
I
Do we
think
think
with
that
the
had a part
$70
in it?
price tag, what it is you're looking at $70 price tags. So now the industry, we don't accept $70 price tags to buy games lately. So the problem is now we have to figure out like, I'm gonna wait to see if somebody else will test the water for me, and then you watch somebody test the water for you, and you're like, oh hell no, oh hell no.
Dodge the water. Well, in Human over here, he said people were saying it's a great game, but it's a bad Final Fantasy game, which could very well be probably the truest statement about Final Fantasy 16. Like it could be a great game, terrible Final Fantasy game.
hmm
Which puts it in a really bad predicament. It's like, how do you rate the game then? It's like, if I look at it with an open mind, I've never played a Final Fantasy game before. Oh, this game's fantastic. Or it's like, man, like I'm coming off Final Fantasy 7 remake. This is garbage.
Well, it definitely changes the scope that you would look through it, like look through to
Right,
to
because
really
then
judge that game.
then it comes down to the media outlets who did the reviews before the game released. That person who did the review, did they play a Final Fantasy game before? Was this their first one ever? Because me and Roger, I think me and Roger talked on an episode that you weren't here, Scott, where that was an issue with people doing reviews, is that they were giving reviews to people who aren't good at first person shooters, they're good at strategy games and they play a first-person shooter and they're like, oh, this game's
Or
garbage. And
or you have
Yeah.
people that have never beaten a game a day in their life, giving out reviews for massive games.
yeah,
Hmm.
so
So,
there's
oh man,
definitely
this game was really difficult and kind of clunky. Says
well,
the guy who doesn't know to go left when you're supposed to fucking go left. Like,
right. Well, good thing here is that we got Roger playing it, so maybe he can give us an honest review when he is done, and we can kind of go from there. Cause
yeah, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off and wait until Roger's like completely done because I do have some people saying it's great,
Yeah.
even though they've had to adapt to some of the other pieces to it, like the combat.
right, because
But
there's
I'm,
like there
I'm
are some good highlights where we talked about where like the accessibility options are built into the game, or like they are the different jewelry that you put on. Like they actually have like an effect in the game. So like there are highlights of the game. It could be a great game, but like you said, it may be a bad Final Fantasy game. But I'm definitely Roger. I'm eager to hear your final review whenever you do.
yeah,
get
all eyes on you when you're done with it.
that. You're the only one with the PS5 with
and I've
out of us
played-
three.
Not only that, I played Final Fantasy games, so like
Yeah.
this isn't the first one I played and beat. I've beaten 10, beaten 11, I've beaten. Sorry, 11 was the MMO. I've beaten 12, 13. Like
Yeah.
I've played a lot of them, and I know Marshmallow has as well. And like, this doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game that not everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa, this is the game of games." Like it, you kind of have to know some of the characters and be like, oh, that's cool. I know that Eidolon or whatever they want to call it now. So like they change the terms for things and they change how everything works. So they always are rewriting the series, and I feel like this time they didn't do a good job on the rewrite.
Okay. Yeah, so only time will tell when we hear from your final
Yeah.
review. But that's all of our gaming news. Let's move on here to our leaks and rumors because it's all about trilogies. So, Roger, go ahead and kick us off here with an update in regards to PlayStation's game.
Yeah, so starting off with the first trilogy, The Last of Us 3, Ellie will not be the main character. It features a group of scavengers on a post-apocalyptic city outskirt. The survivors gather inside a Victorian house, and the Naughty Dog is currently casting for a diverse group of new characters. The main characters will include 5 survivors: Lucas, Mason, Val, Adra, Adra,
Adra,
Adra,
maybe
Maybe.
Adra.
I think it like Adhara would be how I would pronounce it, but it's Adra, I guess, and Gracie.
It's spelled
are
like
the
this.
names.
Chat.
Yeah. So it looks like they're kind of rewriting the series, and that kind of worries me.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
they're rewriting, yes, that 100% worries me. If they're adding on, not affected, not upset by any means. But if they're reworking this series that
Mhm.
we've played, we've watched now, and we've grown to love, like there's no need for that. You don't need to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
add
people
on
need
would
to-
make sense.
And people need to just take their hands off of shit that their hands don't need to be in. But
Even Last of Us 2 was a bad hit for me. Like I was like,
Yeah.
this did not fill the void. This just made me feel worse. Like I really didn't like where we went with this. And
I can't
so,
wait. I can't wait for season 2 of the show
Mhm.
because all of my social medias are gonna be lighting up.
So we'll see how that
For
goes.
shit we've already known.
So, go ahead, Scott, with the next leak / rumor.
Yeah. So odd, right? So the Nintendo. And this is gonna be about the console. We know what console, the Switch, right? So reports said that a Spanish game developer has received the developer kit for the next gen Nintendo device.
Muy bueno. my
What
friend.
are we? Yeah, muy bueno. If
Yeah,
Muy
if,
bueno.
if
Yeah.
that's true, like big if true,
Yeah.
big if true.
I mean, that's,
Big
if
if.
it's a
But,
Switch,
yeah,
if
it's-
is it called the new Nintendo Switch or what's it gonna be
Is
called?
The
it
Nintendo Switch 3D.
is gonna be
The
a
XL.
Switch? It's gonna be the Nintendo Switcheroo, the Nintendo Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo. Who knows what's going on here?
But one thing that we
reports
do
are
know, yeah, go ahead.
Please don't give them ideas. And Heman says, "I'm thinking Swatch. Would you switch Swatch or Switch? Yeah, we'll do Switch
The
Swatch.
Swatch is already a thing, copyrighted. Sorry.
Nintendo can buy it. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. Copyrights mean nothing when you have money. But yeah, it's kind of weird that just like some
Yeah, that'd be
Spanish game
that
developer
that's the baseline there,
got a dev
Marshmallow.
kit. Like you got a
So,
dev kit for the next gen
but
Nintendo device.
and
Like,
apparently though it's on standards or on par with the Xbox One and the PS4, like the originals when they lost, like in part, like comes to like power.
That's actually big for a handheld console. That's huge.
Yeah. So it's like Nintendo's like really far behind, but like not far. Like they're in
They're
such their
not.
own
That's the thing.
space.
They're
I'm just
yeah.
saying right now, it's gonna be a new 3DS.
They're going back to the
Any
DS
human
days.
said, you know how hard it is to find a new Nintendo 2DS XL? Like, it's gonna be a new DS. It's gonna be the Game Boy Advance and I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play Dodgeball Champions on that. That game was fucking amazing. I can't wait. But yeah, it's like weird that just some random Spanish game developer gets the dev kit for this. But like, I don't know. It's could it be a new Switch? Like, yeah, but like my initial gut instinct is like, well, if a random Spanish developer got it, probably not.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty
Like-
sure everybody has this Switch.
It just leaked.
Yeah, but say they're the ones that accidentally was like, I'm gonna record it on the DS
Yeah.
and send pictures of videos with a DS camera.
They probably what happened is they probably said, "Look at all the things I know," and they hopped in their Discord
Yeah.
and leaked all these secrets.
that that
then-
would make the most sense to Switch too, but Nintendo does not do that, and they never will do that. That's not how they do things.
Switcher.
The PlayStation is the only
Switch.
one that does things the best way with numbers. Xbox does it the most complicated ways. Xbox, the 360, the Xbox One, the Series S and X. Like, who knows where they're going to go next with their console?
Why is it called the 360? Because you turn 360 degrees and walk away from it.
Oh my god, I hated that. I hated every second.
So, Roger, next up here on our leaks and rumors here, to one of our favorite games.
Yeah, so Valorant potentially may have a replay feature incoming. We know this because the Chinese version of the game that is about to release will have it at launch.
Then I'll be able to show you those aces that I don't record while streaming.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You'll be
Goddamn
able to
time.
go back and pull your replays finally from a game. Like, it's crazy that it took this long.
Right. Yeah, Marshall, you were saying that shit last night. Like, they need to add a kill cam. Like, that is just crucial.
Well, the thing is, the kill cam isn't always, it wouldn't be valuable because a game like that isn't meant to give you that information. If you got shot and you didn't know where they were, that's on you. That's the idea behind the game.
Right. And I agree, Marshmallow.
So-
Like, that's the reason why we would want is that because there's people that do things that are very sus and you're like, I need to be able to see this.
As the
And
resident,
that's
like,
what a playback would be good for.
Yeah.
as the resident new Valorant player, like no kill
They-
cam.
Have you played it?
No, that's what I said. As the
You're not a
resident
new
Valorant
player.
as the resident new player, when I wanted to last week,
Yeah.
and I couldn't because my dog was bleeding out on the floor. Like yeah,
It
that's
doesn't have a kill
yeah.
cam.
People can do that shit to be super sus.
Yeah.
But
Like-
a replay feature would fix that, and that's why you report and you get a replay feature. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going with the report and play. The
Yeah,
report-
you
the
report
and play.
during play, and if you're reporting inside the game, Valorant will drop it will ban somebody mid game, and it will give them an L, and you'll get a loss prevented or a win.
Good to know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna hit that report and pray.
Report.
Yeah, dude. Report
So-
and pray.
So to round out our leaks and rumors to our trilogies here is a Plague Tale, which we just had Requiem last year, I think it was. There's a third game potentially in development already due to a new job posting. And on top of that, I copy and pasted that whole line right there because Star Wars Jedi, which is being made by Respawn Entertainment, also posted a recent job posting that was like basically all but confirming the third game is already in development, which is a no-brainer for either of these because they're both successful
Yeah.
games and it only makes sense for a trilogy, and both games ended
They
to
made
set up
money.
the third game. Yeah, they made
Yeah, it would
they
be
made money.
dumb for them not to. It would be absolutely dumb for them not to because they've made so much money off of the initial games and then the secondaries, and then now you have an option for a third where you can make more money. Ooh.
Right. And the thing is, like, both of these games improve vastly over the beginning.
And remember, Ubisoft is making a garbage one, and that's going to only make us want this one more.
Exactly.
It's just facts.
Yeah, just facts out here. But
It's
yeah,
just
man,
business, baby.
it sure is. So, man, that's all of our news and leaks and rumors and everything we got for everybody this week. So, we want to start off by thanking everyone who did come out and check us out live here on Twitch, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But, Roger, where can the community find you at?
Hey, you can find me in the same place, twit.tv backslash lunatic underscore oblivion
You mean forward slash?
forward slash backslash up with upside down character caret.
Yeah, that works. Hey, what about you, Scott?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Scobie1, and we're going to be practicing tonight after this, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go ahead. I will be streaming the practice of us playing some Warzone, getting ready for that tournament. If you're not available for that, you can always find me on Discord at Scobie1. Battle.net, Scobie1, numbers are 11780. If you want to get together, play some games, hop in with me in Diablo. Or if you just feel like go ahead, DMing me or getting ahead of my personal life, then my Instagram is going to be Scobie1.
And of course, everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ but if you're tired of Twitter because you can't view my posts anymore, come check me out at Threads at Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game party up, hit me up there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns, or even if you want to come on the show, slide in my DMs there. And I'm streaming over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, where I'm currently playing through Hogwarts Legacy and some competitive shooters, whether it's Valorant or Warzone. And actually going to be playing some Back 4 Blood with Inhuman Line. That is our next co-op game, so come check us out soon. But we want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Press start podcast.